Since the dawn of time, the fascination of flight has ignited the dreams of men. Birds have fascinated us, they've captivated us, and sometimes even inspired us to look beyond our own imagination. Well, good afternoon everyone, welcome to Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, and of course a big special welcome to our Experience Oz Free Flight Bird Show. My name is Freya.
My name is Tina.
And today we want to take you on a journey into the world of birds. We want to showcase to you some natural abilities, some learnt behaviours, and also talk about how we can protect and preserve our feathered friends for future generations to really appreciate and enjoy. Because did you know the first modern bird actually evolved over 100 million years ago? And in that time they've learned to adapt so well to different environments that today we've got birds everywhere. From the heat of the desert to the freezing snows of Antarctica and everywhere else in between. But as human populations increase around the world, plants and animals decrease at an alarming rate. Take our black cockatoos here on stage today. And we've got two representatives of the black cockatoo. Here in my hand we've got Licorice, a juvenile yellow-tailed black cockatoo who's going to head on out and meet Jacinta out into the audience. Hold your left arm out for me nice and straight. There we go, thank you. And we also have two red-tailed black cockatoos. We have got Phoenix up on the point there and then Barb sitting on Tina's hand. Now, unfortunately, out of the 6 different species of black cockatoo that you do find here in Australia, all of them are classified as either vulnerable, threatened or endangered. And that is due to the decisions that us humans make on a day-to-day basis. But thankfully, it's not all bad news for our feathered friends here in Australia.
No, that's right. There are many birds that do in fact thrive in the presence of humans. And you don't need to look too far into local environment to see some great examples of these. Birds like crows, ibis, seagulls, pigeons. But regardless whether birds are common, whether they're threatened, I know that I don't want to live in a world where the black cockatoo simply fades away to the point of extinction. Now, despite our impact on parrots, here in Australia we are in fact known as the land of the parrots, due to the fact that throughout the Australian bush in the middle of the day, you can hear and see a huge number of those beautiful species of birds. But there are in fact some birds that tend to shy away from humans. And one in particular is about to join us from the fig tree. So cast your eyes over there, folks, because we are about to be joined by Major, who's a black-breasted buzzard. Oh, what are you doing up there, buddy? Come down here. There we go. Now, you may have noticed I've placed an emu egg here on stage today. The reason for it is we want to show you Major's ability to attain the contents of this egg. The best part of this behaviour is her ability to use a tool. Now you see, for many years we thought humans and primates were the only animals intelligent enough to use tools. Oh, she's made a pretty good crack in there. Why don't you give it another go with the... No, I think... Oh, do it the rock? No, you're just going to use your beak now. For many years we thought humans and primates were the only animals intelligent enough to use tools. About 40 to 50 years ago we discovered birds have this incredible ability as well. But I tell you what, this behaviour you're watching today is not a learned behaviour. She didn't have to see another bird do it. We didn't have to teach her to do it. It's instinctive. It's innate. From the first time black-breasted buzzards see an emu egg, they instinctively go in search of a tool. Now this is a fabulous ability for them because what it means is out there in parts of the country where you'll see this bird, in parts of Western Australia or Western Queensland, and Northern Territory, it's a nutritious meal that's going to keep this bird going for days and days on end. But I tell you what, there is a downside to being an instinctive bird being a black-breasted buzzard, and that is they don't adapt very well to change. So when humans encroach on the habitat of that particular bird, they have no option but to simply move out of the area altogether. But if you are lucky enough to spot a buzzard, it will be in the middle of the day because they're what's known as a diurnal species of raptor. But there are some birds that only ever come out in the still of the night. Now when we think of nighttime birds, there is normally one particular species that pops into mind. Or group of birds, I should say. This here is a little barking owl, and her name is Bailey. Now, as she soars over your heads this afternoon, we want you to listen really carefully. You might be lucky enough to hear some of those vocalizations she makes as she flies nice and low. You could have heard that high-pitched trill. That's basically her letting the other birds know that this is her territory. However, there is another call, their little barking, double-noted whoop-whoop sound that she did just make sitting on Tina's glove, but it is their third and final call that has created such a stir amongst us humans. You see, the breeding call of this bird is in fact a high-pitched, blood-curdling squeal. Now, this vocalisation that sounds just like a woman screaming out for help is not one we're going to hear today. Because you see, the breeding call of this bird that sounds like a woman screaming out for help is only ever made by the male bird. And Bailey here is female. But along with their vocalisation, they've also got some striking features. Have a look at those bright yellow eyes. Now, they suggest to us that she has what is known as crepuscular vision. So can see and hunt just as well during the daytime as she can at night time. And if you pair that eyesight with those long, sharp talons, you have yourself one stealthy predator. This bird can take down prey items 2 to 3 times larger than the size of her own body. So something like a sulphur-crested cockatoo or even a brush-tailed possum is the perfect meal. But you see, their eyes are much too big for their bellies. So once they take down that big prey item, they're only going to consume a very small portion because their stomach is only quite small. So what they're going to do is they're going to take down a big brush-tailed possum, they're going to tear off the head, and they're going to eat the contents of the skull by sucking it out through the eye sockets. Delicious. It's so delicious. That's disgusting. What are you talking about? It's wonderful. So you can actually imagine the stir that this vocalisation caused, and as well as in combination with their hunting technique. Because what would happen is early European settlers would wake in the middle of the night to the sound of a woman screaming echoing throughout the forest. When they go to investigate, they'd find nothing but the bodies of animals missing their heads, with no footprints around. So it did lead to the development of a really well-known myth here in Australia, that of a big, hairy, scary swamp monster known as the bunyip. Now, this myth dates back a couple of hundreds of years to early European settlement. However, our association with birds dates back thousands of years to the indigenous populations of Australia. You see, what would happen is Aboriginal people would use bushfires to help flush out large items of prey, as well as to help rejuvenate native vegetation. Now, some birds, in this instance, the black kite, would use this to their advantage, capturing insects or any animals that might escape from the fire. And over time, they have in fact developed a technique in which they do not have to land to consume their food, one known as feeding on the wing. Burst fire. We've got one out here. The other two are having way too much fun out the back. Here they come. Oh, come on, girls. One more. We'll see if we can get them nice and high. There you go. Oh, she's dropped it. Hang on, we'll go again. It's such a good throw too. That's Barry. He's here to clean up the mess. Okay. Come on, girl. No, you don't need to sit by food. There you go, Midair Collision. That's actually doing Broke magnificent black kites. But from bushfires to oceans and waterways. Now right here on the Gold Coast we're pretty famous for our beautiful beaches, but we're also pretty famous for some of the birds that like to call these beaches home. And this here is a pretty common character from the Gold Coast. His name is Marlin, and up there, good boy. For those of you who don't know, what's going on? It's hard out here for you today, buddy. Here's an Australian pelican. Now we want you to have a close look at him today and have what is going on up on the stage. We're trying to show you his ability to use that incredibly large beak to not only catch the fish, but he'll turn them around, he'll throw them head first. He has his own inbuilt fishing hook and his own inbuilt fishing net with that membrane that can in fact hold 14 litres of water. But I tell you what else, you are looking at Australia's heaviest flying bird. But you're going to waddle out in it. Incomplete style, of course. Now, you can give a round of applause if you want. He's a pretty good character. Now, he's large, he's funny, he's impressive, but he's also powerful. Would you guys like to see something powerful? Are you ready? One lady in the front row wants to see something powerful. What are the rest of you? Yes! Alright, well, I'll tell you what. For this part of the show, I need some help. I need the help of one brave... We're going to go for a little volunteer today, folks. Whoa! Come on up. Yeah, you. Hello. Good job, buddy. What's your name? Sam. Now, is this your family here, Sam? Alright, what we need you to do is give them a big wave goodbye. Bye, family. Because, Sam, we're going to get you to help us feed our next bird. Is that okay? Did we tell you that you're the food? No, I'm just kidding, okay. You come and take a seat over here for me, Sam. On this feeding stump right here. Okay, come and take a seat right there. Now, what I need to do is just get rid of Barry over here. It's Barry the white ibis. No one wants to see a National Geographic moment today. Now, this is his mate Larry. Now, these guys have been auditioning for about 4 years for the show. Haven't quite made the cut, but they still give it a red hot go. All right, you guys stay over there. Now, Sam, what I need you to do, buddy, is stay really still. Can I put this food in your hand here? Because I've got a really big bird, and he's going to come on out and take that food out of your hand. So no matter what happens, I want you to stay really, really still. Pop your leg around the front a bit more. Okay. Now, don't let Barry get it, because it's for tight. Now, folks, I think it is time to release our powerful bird, Titan. Was that scary? No? Oh, you did a pretty good job out here today though, I reckon. Jump up for me, buddy. Do you know that you're pretty much a bird trainer? You are? All good bird trainers though, you've got to do one more thing for me, okay? You ready? Wash your hands like this, and then just wipe them on your pants. Yeah, love it, good work. Nice work, you did a great job out here. Give a big round of applause as he heads on down to his family. Now, that little bird there is in fact a bird that suffers in the presence of humans. Because I tell you what, we impact animals in every single environment that we live in. But in most cases, it's the larger predators that suffer the most. And that's because throughout history and across the earth, humans have always had a love-hate relationship with large predators. Now here in Australia, we're not home to lions, we don't have tigers and bears. We don't have those really big land-based predators that you tend to find elsewhere in the world. We do, however, have some pretty large and pretty impressive aerial predators. Now, here in Australia, we're home to 3 incredible species of eagle. We've got the little eagle, we also have the white-bellied sea eagle. But it's this bird that takes his place as king of the Australian skies. Ladies and gentlemen, the wedge-tailed eagle. most large predators from around the earth, the wedge-tailed eagle did not escape persecution here in this country. In fact, for 50 years we shot them, we poisoned them, we trapped them, we hung them along our fences as trophies. We wiped out over 1 million and took them to the brink of extinction. Now in the 1970s we started protecting them, bringing their numbers back to the common status they sit today. But unfortunately there are still birds all over the world, including our green-winged macaw from South America and our long-billed corella from right here in Australia. Now these birds still desperately need our help. You see, every single minute somewhere around the world over 100 acres of old-growth forest is chopped down and destroyed. And our parrots and cockatoos are suffering more than any other bird because they rely on tree hollows for their breeding and therefore their survival. Now, at the alarming rate we chop down forests today, science tells us in just 100 years from now, without change in human behaviour, we will have no rainforest left anywhere in the world. So that may mean your children's children will never see a parrot anywhere in the wild. But it's not all doom and gloom, because we in fact have the power to change the course of the future. You see, one small change in your life today could lead towards a more sustainable future. So I challenge you to have a look at your life and ask yourself, what could I do differently? Maybe you could plant a native tree in your backyard, or put up a nesting box. Maybe you could be really conscious of where you source your timber products from, or only use recycled paper products. Or maybe you could say no to plastic bags. But I assure you, if you change one thing in your world today, you are giving future generations a much better opportunity to appreciate and enjoy these magnificent birds just as much as we've been able to. Now you may not realise the positive impact we've already had here at the sanctuary today. Currumbin is a non-for-profit organisation. So every single dollar that we spend, that you spend, right here within our sanctuary doors, doesn't just go back into caring for our 1,000 plus animals calling Currumbin home. It helps us with our 22 conservation and breeding programs. But most importantly, your money allows us to continue the work in our incredible wildlife hospital, which last year alone took in and cared for over 9.5 sick and injured native wildlife. So for that, we want to say thank you. And the best way that we know how is by getting you very close to one of the most impressive birds that you will find anywhere here in this country. Now this here is Rex, the majestic wedge-tailed eagle. And what we want to do now is give you an opportunity to meet Rex. Up in our photo booth for the next short while, you can stand shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye with this incredible bird of prey. And we're even going to take a professional photo. If you choose to buy the photo at the end of the day, it's up to you and they will be available at Nature's Gift. But folks, on behalf of myself and the entire team, nice work, Squirt. Wrap it up for us, buddy. No, you've got to wrap it up. There you go. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We hope to see you all again in the very near future.